National Food Buffer Stock Company seeks funds to pay National Food Suppliers Association amidst ultimatum.
That I am also telling the minister that, look, we have to solve this situation before schools start running out of food. So it is not like we are also sitting down unconcerned. We are doing everything possible.
Greater Accra Regional Minister suspends Goil Fuel Station's construction in Ashalebuche over safety concerns.
I want to, on behalf of Rexec, say that going forward, all works here must be suspended until further notice. And you should write to EPA, NPA. We will also do so.
And later, Ghana Police pursues driver involved in train collision at Alaju as safety concerns mount.
This driver refused to comply the rules govern the area. And any crossing that you are heading towards, there is a rule that you have to stop.
Now, in our first story, the Judicial Service Staff Association, JUSAC, boycotted a scheduled meeting between JUSAC and the Judicial Service aimed at resolving the ongoing industrial action. The refusal to attend was prompted by allegations of intimidation raised by JUSAC as the strike began to have a significant impact. Our correspondent, Charles Owusu-Kumi, has more from the law courts in Accra. Charles, tell us more.
This is the Circuit Court. This is Court 9. Usually it's a very busy place, but what you find is that it's empty today. Even the doors are locked. All the doors here are locked. The registrar's office is locked. And this is a consequence of a strike action that was declared by the Judicial Service Staff Association. They declared a strike yesterday because, according to them, a new and improved salary structure, which was supposed to have been approved in January this year, has not been approved. Today, the court premises has been empty since we got here in the morning. All clients of the court who have come to seek legal services have all been turned away. The situation was no different at the court complex, which houses the High Court here in Accra. The Law Court complex has been this empty since we arrived here in the morning. Earlier when we came, we were allowed inside the building. We were able to film, and then policemen arrived. When the policemen arrived, they engaged the security of the Judicial Service, and a few moments later, all pressmen were asked to step outside the premises. We're told we can only film from outside the premises. What we found inside is that there's really no work going on. Just two front desk people who were turning away frustrated clients. We managed to get some of these frustrated clients of the courts to share their experiences today with us.
President, you have collected your pay. Have you ever seen Akufo-Addo complain that he has never received his pay before? But look at the judiciary. They are working for the people. Their pay is not coming almost 7 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Why? My brother, we need to sit up.
My plea is that in labor issues, it is a negotiation. It is negotiation. I know it may have gone beyond negotiation, but the government can still do something. The government can look at the issues and then settle them as early as possible. The court is what we have. I continue to say that the court is what we have. The court is the only thing there for the poor, for the rich, for every kind of person in the society. And it's only there to protect us. Sometimes the police cannot operate without even the court. So it's not good for us because the police may do certain things that the court didn't authorize them. So for instance, if somebody is in a custody right now to be brought to court, what happens?
the court on Thursday, a police prosecutor accompanied by 2 suspects arrived at the circuit court only to discover the strike had brought proceedings to a standstill. The prosecutor, like many seeking legal services, was taken aback by the closed doors. The 2 young men, who had been awaiting trial for over 6 months on charges of mobile phone theft, now face further delays due to the JUSAC strike. JUSAC's refusal to meet with the Judicial Council as originally scheduled exacerbates the situation. The group's leadership emphasized that JUSAC members were crucial for the confirmed Supreme Court hearing scheduled for Thursday morning. Samuel Afote Otu, president of JUSAC, alleged that the Judicial Service Management was using the presence of the police to intimidate their members.
We were invited to a meeting, and then we are here to do so, but only to realize heavy security personnel in our gate. By our gates, and we don't know what is happening. So we don't feel okay. If you have invited your child to come and then meet with you, and then you have policemen, fully armed all over the gates, it's like, I don't know. We expect management to advise His Excellency the President to comply with Article 149 as well as Article 1582, because Judicial Council had already finished their work. It is left to the President to do that. So going here and there, it is the President that we expect to say that, oh, I have done it, or this is what I'm doing. But if we are not getting that, and then we are coming here only to see police officers lying around here, disturbing our people because security men have closed the doors, and then maybe our Judicial Secretary will instruct them to maybe comply with the orders of the police. I don't know. Maybe they want to change our securities and then bring in police officers. So we are waiting to get that. We don't understand why police personnel will come here to intimidate our staff. I don't know. So maybe if they have the power...
That upsets you in any way?
Oh, yes. Because small issue that will resolve, and then you bring in police to intimidate us. I don't know what they have in mind.
The court system has been brought to a standstill courtesy this strike by the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana. A meeting that was scheduled between JUSAC and the Judicial Council. JUSAC refused to go into that meeting because, according to them, management was trying to use the presence of the police to intimidate members of JUSAC. Currently, as it stands, that industrial action continues, and no one knows when persons seeking legal services will have access to the courts again. For Citi News, my name is Charles Osukume, reporting from the Supreme Court here in Accra.
Now, disappointment filled the air at the Kumasi Court complex in the Ashanti region as court users, including those standing trial and awaiting rulings on Thursday, found themselves unable to proceed due to the ongoing strike by members of the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG. Hafiz Tijani is our Ashanti regional correspondent, and he brings us more.
Arriving at the court complex in Idum, a police vehicle transported 5 clients of lawyer William Ehiadome, who are currently standing trial for a murder case. Their hopeful anticipation for a ruling on Thursday was dashed as they were unable to access the court and were subsequently returned to police custody. Their counsel expressed deep disappointment.
It's a serious case. Some people, I would say, are wrongly accused of murder. And today is the ruling, and we are here and the premises are not open. They've been in cells for more than 1 month, and they are going back to cells because they cannot open the premises for the court to sit, even though we know that they are innocent. The ruling is what can free them for them to go home to their children.
You look disappointed.
So disappointed. Lawyers are not supposed to put into their lives some emotions, but it's heart-rending to have your client going back to prison when probably the ruling would have favored your client this morning.
The situation was no different at the KMA and Asqa courts, where court users faced similar setbacks.
I'm very upset because since Monday I had a case and the judge wasn't available that day, and now today I'm told that there is a strike. And it's sad because these are, urgent cases.
Before we send them to the Kofanoche, before they can release.
the body. But as of now, we are yet to go back and find out.
When you came, what did they tell you?
They say they're on strike. Even yesterday, I saw it on television. So they're on strike. So you have to go back and see the next line of action.
What will you do now?
During the news team's visit to the Ascot Court complex, we encountered another private legal practitioner who had come to follow up on a case.
Well, my client is disappointed. Of course, we were hoping to do some business today, but unfortunately, it can't happen. Yeah, so as I said, we have to wait. When the matter is resolved, then we'll know the way forward.
The lawyers and their clients are appealing to the government to address the concerns of the striking judicial staff.
Lawyers and their clients, as well as other individuals who are accessing the court premises within the Kumasi metropolis and in the Ashanti region, are only meeting empty premises, and they had no option than to go back home. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Ascot Court Complex, Ashanti region.
Now in the Western region, frustrated lawyers and their clients who were this morning turned away at the main entrance of the Secondary High Court have appealed to government to urgently address demands by JUSAG.
So this is the main entrance to the Secondary Ajemra High Court, where most of the cases that has to be sat on in the region actually take place here. We have the High Court, the Appeals Court, and other courts all come here. But unfortunately, because of the JUSAG's strike today, the entrance has actually been blocked to even motorists who are coming here. We've met some stranded persons who actually have a case here, and because of the JUSAG strike, they are not even allowed to enter. And we've been taking some of their sentiments about the situation.
It's very bad. Imagine you came from all the way from Anaji, and you come to this place and they will tell you that the court's digital service is not working. It's very bad. We have to go back and see our lawyer and see the next date that we will come.
It's a really an unfortunate day or event, and it's quite much creating inconvenience to our client. For instance, this morning, my client traveled all the way from Sunyani to come and appear in court for his case. It's a matrimonial case. And as it is, he has to drive back to Sunyani. And besides that, I have a judgment also to be given in one other case. It's not going to come on.
So I've just come across the Western Regional JUSAG chairman who has actually come to the court premises just to be sure the strike is actually being adhered to. And I just want to take his sentiments on how far they intend going with this very strike.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, our new condition of service is before him. If you just approve and let us get paid, then we'll return to office. You understand? We are not happy. We are not in office today to serve the public, but it has become necessary.
So I am currently inside the High Court premises here in Ajemra in Secondary, where almost all the offices over here have their doors locked up. And what is so symbolic over here is the fact that we have these red banners which have been hung beside a single soul can actually be seen here on the premises of this very court. And that tells you that the JUSAG is very much serious about this strike that they've actually declared. For Citi News, I'm Akose Jenim, Secondary.
Meanwhile, the Judicial Service, who has described the strike as worrying, is appealing to the association to call off the strike as steps are being taken to address their concerns. Now, in some other news, the National Food Buffer Stock Company has indicated that the Ministry of Education has reached out to the Finance Ministry to release funds to pay members of the National Food Suppliers Association. This follows a 14-day ultimatum issued by the National Food Suppliers Association to the Buffer Stock Company, demanding the payment of all outstanding debts. In this report, Citi News' and Shelley Ziwu interacts with the Chief Executive Officer of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul Wahab, on the issues raised.
The National Food Suppliers Association is demanding the payment of their 18 months arrears in 14 days, or their members will be left with no option but picket at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company. According to them, attempts to get the authority to address their issue has proven futile, hence their decision to picket if the 14 days ultimatum is not respected. Responding to their concerns, Chief Executive Officer of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul Wahab, said steps were being taken to have their arrears paid. He, however, blamed the situation on the country's current economic challenges and called for patience.
We owe them. And with the kind of system Buffer Stock operates, at any point in time, you would owe suppliers. As I am talking to you now, supplies are ongoing, invoices are coming in. So at any point in time, we will owe suppliers. We owe them. As to the number of months that we owe them, I am not sure about that. But what I know is that they have been here on several occasions trying to find out why their payments are delaying. I took it upon myself to explain to them the reasons, being this in September 2017. So for us to, find ourselves in this situation, we all know where we are now in the world in terms of to make sure that they get their money so that they can also settle their, financial institutions, as most of them have said that they have taken facility.
Hanan Abdul Wahab further described as untrue the allegations by the suppliers that the National Food Buffer Stock Company has contracted some private individuals to supply them food instead of clearing their arrears.
I find it very difficult to even reconcile their claims. The reason being that they say they have sources and contacts at the Ministry of Education. And I'm so surprised that their contacts or their sources is not pointing out to them that there are other people that the Ministry of Education have also engaged to do the supply, not Buffer Stock. The Ghana Commodity Exchange, they have also registered suppliers under them to supply to the same institutions. So it is not Buffer Stock. We haven't gone to contract anybody to do any supply. So their source at the ministry should tell them that it is the ministry.
He, however, reiterated concerns by a member of the Food and Agricultural Committee of Parliament, Kwame Gape, that failure by the government to pay their arrears within the 14 days window could undermine the free SHS policy.
Whatever food that we are sending to the school has to do with availability of funds. You understand? So, and that is also my bargaining chip that I am also telling the ministry. Schools start running out of food. So it is not like we are also sitting down unconcerned. The very suppliers that are supplying to the schools, when they are not financially, reimbursed, they will not be able to continue, and that's going to that would affect supplies.
The construction of a new fuel station in Ashale-Buche carried out by Goil PLC has been immediately suspended by Henry Quartey, the Greater Accra Regional Minister. The suspension will remain in effect until a comprehensive due diligence investigation is conducted. This action is a response to concerns raised by residents regarding the potential hazards associated with the location of the fuel station.
Residents of Ashale-Buche expressed their dissatisfaction with the presence of the fuel station in their community by wearing red bands on Thursday. They highlighted the fact that the area is predominantly residential and voiced their concerns about the narrow road which could impede the safe passage of fuel tankers during unloading operations.
This place was a residence. Secondly, even the land is not big enough. Secondly, our road is too small. Closer to the place, and our children have been passing here to and fro to school. This is the school here. If around 4:30 when they close, come and see traffic here. And meanwhile, where will how do we call it? The tanker pass to discharge the product before they come out. Look at the space. They can't build any filling station here. I say no, I've been fear. And I share your Obinimo used to be dear. Obinimo saw cylinders. Well, Obinimo saw you sue your friends, Eja, Muka. Nasesia, no Mobabia Diwai. Say Ejato Sesia, fine. Your friends, Atomic Junction, dear toy, and me Donya me, Obeka said to Kroma. Sada no me, Amijina, Amika say, man, Nami fear, Ubi so be a catcher. Mrs. Simon in Anum, Mrs. Simon in Anum, enemy ma. You're Johnny, and I'm a one pie, and I'm about me, but for me, I up you, Eja.
Henry Quartey, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, has responded to these concerns by ordering an immediate suspension of construction activities on the project until further notice.
Taking cognizance of what happened at Atomic Junction, Atomic Roundabout, which still is fresh in the minds of some people and all of us, and that of June 3rd, disaster at Circle. This clearly cannot hold. And I want to thank you very much for holding an emergency meeting to, as it were, you use the word put on hold. I want to, on behalf of RECSEC, say that going forward, all works here must be suspended until further notice. And you should write to EPA, NPA. We will also do so to find out how they even arrived at granting permit for something like this to happen here. If you look at the adjoining buildings, I mean, clearly, there's a house behind here, and I can see the underground tank for the fuel station. Should it catch fire, we are finished. Look at the building here, look at the next one here, and look at the one in front. Clearly, though I am not an expert, but this petrol station cannot be sited here.
Residents of Ashale-Buche in the Greater Accra region, they have expressed fear about the dangers this could pose to them, hence the need for authorities to act on the situation. However, per visit to the site by the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey, he has ordered suspension of work on the project. Reporting for Citi News from Ashale-Buche, my name is Ni Ayukwe Okai.
This is the Citi Newsroom. I'm Frema Dunyame, still to come. Ghana. We'll be right back with the details. Don't go away.
Wow, this place has changed, yo! Yo, Angela, look at you all grown up, yo.
Some things never change, like Gino's quality natural taste.
Just like I remember. Senjino dear, fie. It's delicious, yo.
This
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. I'm prepared.
Thanks for staying. The Ghana Police Service is actively pursuing the driver of the taxi cab that was involved in a collision with a train at Alajo on Thursday morning. The disclosure was made by Nicholas Boache Sapong, the area manager for the Accra branch of the Ghana Railway Authority. Now, according to Sapong, the driver is alleged to have violated the regulations pertaining to the use of railway lines. Now, in this report, Citi News' Kwekwe Drama Answer sheds light on the safety issues surrounding rail crossings in Ghana.
Authorities have repeatedly urged the removal of settlements located in close proximity to railway lines in order to prevent accidents involving vehicles and pedestrians. To achieve this, it is crucial for authorities to clear activities within at least 50 feet of the railway line across the country. However, efforts to enforce this directive have faced various oppositions. Incidents such as trains derailing from the tracks and severe crashes have occurred in the past. On Thursday morning at approximately 7:30, a Accra-bound train carrying about 400 passengers collided with a taxi cab at Alajo, a suburb of Accra.
It was at this exact point when the driver of the taxi had gotten to when he saw the oncoming train, and because of the fear of losing his life, he fled the scene. And we've been told by eyewitnesses that the train that was moving from Tema through to Accra hit this
train about 7:30 to 8. But we do 7:30. Inti ba ina Accra for no. So fi Accra ba umbe yi niema egu ha. Umbe yi niema egu bus stop ha. Le to bia no ma yegu train ade nso. Na taxi for no so dia be ko. Enso e de ko Alajo inside. Inti obeyi go on taxi ni ye say obefa. Nti obefa no be gina ade no so no be gina ade so ye say o change about reverse ni obefa niema no. O change ya no hwede o tu na ni na train no edu ha no say na ma nyaa ni nyere me kra kwa. And then see a form no tiny FRC. Indeed, the one said train.
The question arises as to who should be held accountable for the accident. To gain insights into the unfortunate incident, I spoke with Nicholas Boache Sapong, who is the area manager for the Accra branch of the Ghana Railway Authority.
It happens within the crossing, a guided crossing. And one is a guided crossing, which means there's a crossing keeper who is monitoring the point before the train runs, stops the cars. But this driver refused to comply. The rules govern the area. And any crossing that you are heading towards, there is a rule that you have to stop. You listen, you look, and then you pass. Any moving vehicle within any crossing of rail line, that has been an existing rule, and it's even enshrined in the road safety or whatever manual that we have in application of the rule. So he didn't adhere to those rules. So the crossing keeper made all effort to stop him from that. But he proceeded, and that led into that.
Mr. Sapon later revealed that the Ghana Police Service is actively pursuing the taxi cab driver for violating certain regulations. To assess the extent of disregard for safety regulations, the news team visited the graphic road stretch of the Tamakra railway line. Our cameras captured traders selling perishable goods like tomatoes and yam right along the edge of the railway line. Despite the provision of a safe market center, some traders had chosen to trade in unauthorized areas. I approached some of the traders to understand their reasons for engaging in this illegality.
Nampacho, unim say what's been railway track?
Pacho minimpanti. Tuona ebase na ya sori agina anchen. Na obechu ma na asa metrase. To oba ebe yiwe nyina afiro.
Mbe yi niema na wan.
Ye be yi ayinu amble da nyina afiro. Enti ina ya ko echi. Ochu ma na ya samba. Ba oba ye ntana. Ye be ko echi kura. Ansa na obechu.
Adayana usurana.
Say yesu David dintra na maya. David dintra maya betra. Say anka hanya bi betra ton ade. Da be David dintra.
Train ba ya twi yan ko train. Train ba obi wo obeba be ma announcement say train ba. Ti obi an hwe ne ho yie. Ti enya e be free akọ etri. Train be twem nsana.
Bayana usuru like a bad. And yes, usuru say a beku ba. At the same
eba or the spirit never was so ti won't meet na this all question.
So in case train for nekase say my month na ha crab you ma say na obefado
me kon say ye le mu ni anti me ko.
At the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, a similar situation was observed with brisk business activities ongoing. The Ghana Railway Authority wants citizens to uphold their safety by staying off railway lines.
Train, as we see, as good as it is that is providing services for us for our movement from homes to our workplace, we should also take note that there are certain aspects that we should adhere, especially both pedestrians, both people who are mounting their structures along the line. When we put them off, they should try to understand. Because if the unknown happens, they will be exposed. That maybe it's the fault of railway, but no one has granted such people to be there. So we are telling them through this. So that the responsibility of sharing of responsibilities.
Driver in question is currently being sought after by the Ghana Police Service for the railway tracks. Meanwhile, the authorities are also preaching against occupying areas very close to the railway tracks. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Kweku Ediamansa.
Charismatic Council restrictions on drumming and noise making. In a collaborative effort, they have signed an agreement that allows for certain modifications during this period. A stakeholders meeting was held at Dodowa involving the aforementioned entities and the Greater Accra Regional Security Council to discuss the matter in detail.
The ban announced a one-month ban effective May 15, 2023. To ensure compliance within the traditional area, a task force has been established. This ban restricts activities such as clapping, the use of musical instruments in churches, and the employment of public address systems. However, during the stakeholder engagement, the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, the clergy, and the Greater Accra Regional Security Council reached a mutual agreement. They decided to permit the use of public address systems, microphones, and clapping at reduced volumes within church auditoriums during this ban.
All faith-based organizations have agreed to confine crusades, conventions, and usual forms of worship to church buildings and avoid excessive noise during the period of the ban in the interest of peace and harmony. 4. Noise making beyond the levels prescribed by the police, the Public Order Act, and the bylaws of the various MMDAs. 5. The faith-based organizations may use microphones at a reduced volume, and this includes public address system in auditoriums only.
To ensure the peaceful coexistence of the community, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey shared the responsibilities of a reformed task force. This task force is tasked with enforcing the ban in a manner that promotes harmony among all parties involved.
When a violation is detected, the Joint Task Force led by a senior police officer to be determined by the divisional or district commander of the Ghana Police Service will serve a summons. And I repeat, they will not go into the church to forcibly take, vandalize, assault or otherwise in the auditorium, but rather the task force led by the police, by the assembly and supported by the police, will issue a summons which is in conformity of the Abatement Nuisance Act, where a branch, a church, or rather where a branch of a faith-based group is found to have breached or violated this declaration within the period in question, the leader of the said branch shall be sanctioned, and that sanction shall be determined by the joint adjudication group.
Per joint declaration between the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs and the clergy, churches can now use microphones and public address systems as well as clap their hands at minimal levels during the ban on drumming and noise making. Reporting from the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs at Dodowa in the Greater Accra region, my name is Ni Ayikwe Okain for Citi News.
The Domestic Tax Revenue Compliance Task Force of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, invoices to customers now called by neglecting their responsibility to issue the Commissioner's VAT invoices. Official made purchases and discovered the absence of VAT invoices. Citi News' Fred Duho has more in the following report. Fred.
The GRA Task Force today took its enforcement exercise to the doorstep of some wholesale shops, including some pharmaceutical companies that were not issuing the Commissioner's VAT invoice to customers who go to their premises to purchase items or patronize their services. Today, the exercise generally has witnessed about some 7 being arrested by the task force.
This is a receipt. You have. What is it? Like when you give someone receipt. Yes. Like it's a receipt. It's not an invoice.
But
cash receipt.
Cash receipt. Yeah. So the person paid cash and you gave him this.
No. This is you have to give him a receipt on his money. Like if he pays. Let's see if he's leaving layaway.
So is that the right thing to do?
No, we will issue when he collects. Okay. But this is just a receipt for his money.
Okay, so we want some of these receipts. Where are they? All the used ones and the one you are still using.
I will get them for you. There's no problem.
Right. You are in the habit of issuing this particular
yes.
So we want the full booklet.
Okay, I'll get you.
All the booklets you have issued.
This is becoming like a mafia work. We're tired of that now.
The Accra Area Enforcement Coordinator, Mr. Joseph Annan, has been addressing the press after today's exercise.
We have been to Citi Plus Appliances, Panacea Pharmacy, Art Pharmacy, Benlord Plumbing, The Best 5 Company Limited, Sikacrobia Company Limited, and MS Taka Overseas. These are all companies who are not compliant. They are not issuing the VAT invoice at all times. So it's an infraction that goes against the tax laws. Like I always say, we are dealing with Section 41 of the VAT Act, which requires that once you are registered, you must issue the VAT invoice at all times. Once the person fails to issue the VAT invoice, obviously there's an intention to avoid paying the taxes. So obviously, I can't quantify what we are losing as a nation, because obviously you don't do the business with them. It is when you get their records that you know how much we have lost.
Surprisingly, area to go after the GRA, asking them to come and install the electronic VAT invoicing software for them to be able to effort to purchase items. And they were quite apprehensive with the way and manner the task force went into their premises to demand for their receipt books and other invoices.
Why should that be? That you done before you make a case. When we are submitting ourselves.
Listen. What you are telling me is news to me now.
Exactly.
You understand? You are coming from what you are telling me is something that you are having with your tax office.
This afternoon I have an encounter with GRA and I'm very happy about the outcome. My interest is to see an economy growing with good tax payment. At Pharma pride ourselves in big, good corporate citizens. However, my reservation is the way our VAT system has not been implemented. We have had a formal discussion and it looks like the outcomes has not been too good, and the surveillance team is here following up on it. And we hope that these things will be corrected so that going forward we will all be at peace and we will grant a system that will guarantee absolute tax compliance. I think there are certain items on our shelves that need to be vetted beyond the medicines, and we believe that we have not had visibility in terms of accountability. We ourselves are at lost how to do the vetting, and we can't do it on our own volition. It has to be engineered by the GRAs. And today I think they have the e-VAT system, and we wish they could implement that across all pharmacies who do non-pharmaceuticals so that there's clarity.
Some expatriates and some Ghanaians who are not complying with the tax laws of the country were arrested. They've since been taken to the GRA headquarters where further interrogation would be taking place. Again, some receipts they've issued to customers who purchased from their shops over the period have also been collected for further investigation. My name is Fred Duho reporting for Citi News.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom. We take a breather here. When we return, government believes it has managed the agricultural sector well due to its implementation of prudent policies. be back shortly. Don't go away.
Is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, Pamini, bank and I'm not say Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just say very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
If you're a whiz kid that collects straight A's in your sleep, a brainy brains that aces quizzes without even trying, or a clever clogs that knows just about everything, then there's one more battle you have to win. The Literacy Challenge. The nationwide search for the best junior high student is on. Think it could be you going home with 10,000 Ghana cedis and a glitzy trophy? Then, in not less than 600 words, write a story that ends with the following statement. The happiest people do not have the best of everything, they make the best of everything they have. Stories should be written in your own handwriting with the deadline of Saturday, the 15th of July 2023 in mind. Submissions must include an endorsement by a parent or guardian and their full contact details. And once you're done, shoot off your entries to the front desk of Citi TV or Citi FM. Or you can send entries to PO Box GP 14123 Accra Central. For more inquiries, call 0558 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by Citi TV and supported by Citi FM.
Hello again. President Akufo-Addo says despite the numerous economic challenges, Ghana has not recorded food shortage like other West African countries. Nana Akufo-Addo says prudent policies such as planting for food and jobs, among others, played an important role to secure enough food for the country. Speaking at the 7th African Leadership Forum in Accra, Nana Akufo-Addo said government has managed the agricultural sector well. Citi News' Samiri Afe has more.
Government in the year 2017 launched the policy of planting for food and jobs aimed at empowering farmers to plant more and generate income from it. The policy, according to government, was to promote food security in the country. Years down the line, government described the program as successful with positive impact. Addressing a panel of the 7th African Leadership Forum in Accra with a focus on agribusiness, President Akufo-Addo says Africa should begin to see food production as a business to earn income for the country.
Finding the solution and how we can generate the resources to support agribusiness in our country, I think is a major challenge confronting us. Since we've been in office, we have had to turn to a system of subsidies of our farmers. largely because of this gap of financing. The subsidies have to come from public resources, and that is this whole program we have called the Planting for Food and Jobs, where we have subsidized our smallholder farmers, because Ghanaian agriculture, like agriculture in many parts of the continent, is essentially smallholder farmers. We don't have huge plantations here, etc. Is to finance providing subsidies for the imports, seedlings, fertilizer. That has been the pattern of our government, and it has yielded some positive results. No two ways about it. We have seen that even during this difficult time in the COVID thing, the supply of foodstuffs in the markets, the availability of foodstuffs in the Ghanaian market has not been an issue. It isn't as if in this period of difficulty we have also witnessed shortages of foods, etc. On the contrary.
Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo on his part says African countries should consider trading more among themselves.
And some people will say to us, oh, we in Africa cannot trade among ourselves in agribusiness because we produce the same thing. But they in Europe produce the same thing and they trade among themselves. Why can't we here? Ghana produces cocoa. Ghana's cocoa has to go to Switzerland, to Germany, before it's turned to chocolate. Kenya does not produce cocoa, but they eat chocolate. South Africa does not produce cocoa, but they eat chocolate. Why can't the cocoa we produce in Ghana and in Cote d'Ivoire be turned to chocolate?
Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Wemkele Mene, is pushing for Africa to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area to generate more revenue for the continent.
If we do not unlock opportunities in agriculture, create jobs, feed Africa, we will not succeed as a continent. No country in the world has developed without the agricultural sector as a pillar of growth. If you take, for example, China, when people ask me, well, why do you think from the point of view of trade liberalization of agriculture, how will you be able to include smallholder farmers on a continental value chain? Well, China was able to do it in less than one generation, bringing over 700 million farmers, smallholder farmers, as part of a value chain of agriculture to feed that country.
Justice Kwesi Enin-Yeboah has retired as Chief Justice of Ghana after attaining 70 years on May 24. Justice Enin-Yeboah's period as head of the judiciary saw the determination of some high-profile cases like the election petition, the decision on the approval of e-levy, among others. Some persons who were not satisfied with the decisions have, based on this, criticized Justice Enin-Yeboah. The following report by Citi News' Hansen Ajuman puts a spotlight on the tenure of the 14th Chief Justice of Ghana.
After 21 years of service as a judge, Justice Enin-Yeboah took a bow from the judiciary on May 24, 2023. Having operated as a legal practitioner since his call to the bar, he was appointed to the High Court in 2002. Prior to that, he was the Eastern Regional Chairman of the Ghana Bar Association. He was noted for his diligence, which is said to be the reason for his appointment. He was later appointed to the Court of Appeal in 2003, where he served for 5 years. He was appointed to the Supreme Court in 2008 by then-President John Agyekum Kufuor. Following the retirement of Justice Ofer Kufuor, he was appointed and approved as Chief Justice. His approval was followed by the 2020 election petition, which he presided over as President of the Apex Court. Unlike then Chief Justice George Nawood, who was not part of the panel of the 2012 election petition, Justice Enin-Yeboah chaired the 7-member panel. The panel decided unanimously against the NDC's John Mahama. This has since formed the basis for the appraisal of his role as a Chief Justice, with some questioning the basis of the judgments and the rulings against the NDC. Also, The court has delivered rulings such as the case on whether a deputy speaker can be counted for the purpose of forming quorum and vote while presiding as speaker. As head of the judiciary, Justice Enin Yeboah was the chair of the General Legal Council, which is in charge of legal education in Ghana. Months before his assumption, access to legal education had been a matter of concern to observers of the legal system in Ghana, following the continuous failure of majority of students who sat for the entrance exams. There were calls for the current system to be reviewed to allow for schools who undertake the Bachelor of Laws program to run the professional program. Some have criticized him on his failure to make this possible. However, his tenure has recorded some increase in the number of enrollments to the Ghana School of Law compared to previous years. There has also been an increase in satellite campuses with the introduction of campuses at UPSA and GIMPA. The outgoing Chief Justice has been interested in promoting infrastructure development at the courts. He has in the past months commissioned court rooms and bungalows for judges in the Ashanti, Central and Greater Accra regions, a move he has been commended for. Justice Enin Yeboah is remembered for a public campaign against extortion by judicial service staff during his last days as Chief Justice. The judicial workers have adjudged him as the best Chief Justice as far as their welfare is concerned.
And this is where we part company. You've been watching the Citi Newsroom. Visit our website, citinewsroom.com, for more news updates. Subscribe to CitiTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. Thanks for watching. I'm Frema Edunyame.